Good evening, penny pinching America. Welcome back to LFC News. I'm your unbelievably hard part-time hooker anchorman, Brandon Blank. Tonight's slathered story, slip and slide oh so fine. A local man, dumbfounded by rising gas prices, gave up on driving his 2012 Chevy Equinox. He has now found his own mode of transportation, which I'll tell you more about, but first, a word from our intern, Carl Frank.
Well, thanks, Brandon.
I think we've heard enough. Thanks, Carl. In marriage counseling news, a honeypot fiasco. A man by the name of David Nodick is on the market as a single man. His ex-wife and him were truly in love. They often went on dates, had long walks on the beach, and even tortured the souls of the damned together. What more could you ask for? Unfortunately, on one of these picnic/park orgies together, a stray bee decided to pollinate some flowers near the happy couple. Deborah, the man's wife, was mesmerized by the bee and the way it moved its hips. She instantly ripped her blouse off and let herself get some of that sweet, sticky honey. David was pissed and in a fit of rage, smashed a bottle of champagne over the bee's head. David and the bee got into a nasty brawl, with the bee coming out victorious. David was then sent to prison for assault with a deadly weapon. Deborah and the bee later conceived a child, half bee and half human. The government is sure to step in and steal the child as it's born. That's all the info we have for the time being, but wow, that bee sure knows how to pollinate. We will now be cutting into Sal Dip with today's Wordle.
Hi, my name is Sal Dip, and welcome back to another Wordle, where I'm your Wordle conductor. Today, let's try to think of our first word. Okay, we got a T and an I. Two letters that are in my favorite movie, It. Well, it is my favorite movie, but I can only watch halfway through because the clown scares me a little too much. Okay, our second word we guessed is audio, of course, with a D, I, and an O. Oh, that reminds me of my favorite anime character, Dio. But, you know, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a little bit gay. Anyways, our next word looks like it's going to be great. Oh, not quite, Tony the Tiger. Great. And we got a T, and we know exactly where it goes. We just need to figure out where the I, O, and the D go. Okay, let's see what word we try to think of. Dink? Doink? Schmoink? No. Idiot. Ooh, that's a great guess. IDIOT, and we got the O and the T in the correct spot. But we got to figure out where the D and the I both go. You know, this really reminds me of how my pet dog Sparky died. May he rest in peace. It just, you know, it took me so long to get over it, and, you know, I didn't have anyone's support. Not even your guys's, but hey, I'm trying my best. Anyways, let's get back to the Wordle. We got D-I-X-O-T. The X is just a placeholder for a letter we're thinking of. I don't know what word we're gonna think of, but I sure could go for a swim as a diver. Oh, we got a D-I-V. We know exactly where all the words go with the word divot, just like Dusty Divot from Fortnite. Back to you in the studio, Brandon.
Wow, I'm actually impressed. Sal is now 2 for 2 on the daily whirls. Too bad he's not that successful in life. Back to tonight's slathered story. Slip and slide, oh so fine. A man gives up on cars and gas because he can't afford it anymore. So, what's his new mode of transportation, you may ask? Well, I'll run you down this man's morning routine. He wakes up, brushes his teeth, starts a pot of coffee, and gets dressed for work. He then proceeds to pour an entire bottle of Dawn dish soap over his body, making sure he gets all of his nooks and crannies. He then wets himself with a garden hose and gets a running start, and makes sure to flop himself onto the road, rocketing himself straight to work. This mode of transportation is very dangerous due to the high speeds, lack of steering, and the small, insignificant fact that he is not able to stop. But this doesn't stop the man. He continues to slide to get everywhere, reaching speeds up to 72 miles an hour. Unfortunately, on one of the man's slide runs, he was gliding down the road, going approximately 65 miles an hour, when he got distracted by his phone and went headfirst into a dump truck. Well, while that is unfortunate, at least with all the dish soap, the man made street cleaning a breeze. We will now be cutting to Reginald Cloudsworth with today's Rainforest Cafe weather.
Good day, I'm Reginald Cloudsworth, and welcome back to your weather segment here on LFC News. Today's report is once again being delivered from a temporary outdoor location as my nomadic operations continue. And before I begin, I would like to say that I saw this man out in public when I was nomadically traveling. He called out to me, and I went over not thinking about the consequences that could be. But to my surprise, he was nice. I thought he was going to kill me, but he did no harm. I then went on my way. No more information is being released about this encounter at this time. Back to the weather. Conditions across Wisconsin today are remarkably pleasant, and unfortunately, due to the heavily wooded nature of my current location, and I'm not saying more, viewers may not be able to fully appreciate today's remarkably pleasant conditions, so I'd highly suggest that you go out and enjoy it. Anyway, we are currently seeing temperatures in the low 70s, along with beautiful clear blue skies, a nice breeze, listen to that breeze, and just overall exceptional weather conditions across the region. Frankly, it's almost too nice, but hey, after recent events, I have grown somewhat distrustful of unusually calm conditions, especially when it comes to my emotions and my mental health. Nevertheless, today is expected to remain sunny and comfortable well into the evening hours. I'm Reginald Cloudsworth, and back to you in the studio, Brandon.
Thank you for that inspiring weather report, Reginald. I have a feeling that me and you can turn up the heat and really bring summer. It looks like that's all the time we have for today. But before we end today's broadcast, our intern has a short message for the audience at home. Thank you for watching LFC News. I'm Brandon Blank, stupid in love, working the corner and the teleprompter. And remember,